Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds, the preview for Forest versus City. And look who we found.
What's going on, guys?
Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to what's going to be a fun stream because we got the legend with us, Uti. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's 1 a.m. over here, but I'm still jet lagged, so all good to go.
I know, man. How long have we been trying since the Man U game to get you back on? We've been doing the maths over the time differences and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like,
by the way, I really like that new intro, man. That's dope.
Thank
I
you,
need me
man.
one of those.
Yeah, well, since my computer blew up, bro, I've had to do a lot of things over again. Guys, if you don't know Uti, then where have you been? Uti, one of the absolute legends on YouTube. His link is pinned into the chat. And I'm going to be monitoring to see how many of you subscribe to him tonight that are not yet subscribed. So, Uti, have you got a live number for us? I'm going to really force him.
All right, let me have a look, man. Right now, it is 6730.
6730. That's not up to like at least 800. By the end of the stream, we are going to be having words. People are asking, where is Crypto? Crypto, we kicked him off after his shenanigans from last episode. And where's Ez? Well, we can't have two brown people or more on, man. It's just got to be me and Uti tonight, man. So Ez, we've kicked him off. If you prefer Uti over Ez, let us know by making sure you've hit the like and subscribe to the Legends channel. All you got to do is click on the blue bit in the title. And Rob, you're just regulars. You boys all right?
Yeah, I feel good. I've been promoted to the top right of the screen.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, we got a special. No, you're going back down.
No!
Thanks for pointing that out. It's good to see you.
Deduction that's done you, Rob.
It's good to see you all in the chat. All the messages coming in for Uti. They're loving Uti in the chat. Jimmy's subscribed. Yes, Craig was always subscribed as well. Good to see you all. Dan subscribed as well. Is Rob trying to look like Tom Selleck, man? Have you got your Ferrari in the driveway there, Rob?
I don't know. I haven't got enough. I need a curly
Hey,
mop.
I was thinking that myself. I was thinking, didn't it?
And I've got to say, I want to start with this, boys, because Matt is spot on. He says, Uti, great set of videos this week. Thank you. Ez is great, but no Uti. I mean, Ez is no one at the moment. But listen, bro, I just want your take on it as a kind of honorary Forest guest, yeah, but technically not a Forest supporter. Like, what's been your take over this, as I've been calling it, and Ant hasn't got the balls to call it, corruption that we've been seeing with VAR and PGML, LOL, as I call them. What was your stance on it, bro?
So I think it's been a bit of a piss take ever since that whole Super League episode. Like, if you're not going to punish the big six for trying to go away and start their own little league, then you already know it's compromised. Then they came after Forest and Everton this season. Points deductions, it's not even like they're doing it once. It's like, 5 or 6 times now throughout the course of the campaign. Like, if it was one of the big six, nothing would have happened. So you already can see that something's off over there. And then the refereeing decisions, I've got no words for it, man. Like, listen, being an on-field referee is really tough. The game's going at like 100 miles an hour. It's difficult to make calls. But when you've got the benefit of slow motion replays, I don't know how you can be that incompetent. After a point, you have to like question what's actually going on here. And then when you read those reports in The Athletic about these referees going to the UAE in the middle of the season, getting paid more in a week than they do in a year in the Prem, I mean, it's super dodgy, man.
It is terrible. And this is coming, chat. Let's give the background here, yeah? Uti is part of the Cartel 6 in terms of the team he supports here. So you know when someone as honest as Uti is saying it, then absolutely there's questions to be answered. I mean, Rob, you got so many questions for Uti. By the way, chat, Rob is like fanboy number one of Uti. So
I
I
thought
couldn't not get him on the show tonight.
I saw that you made a short out of me talking about corruption. Then I watched it back and I thought, "Ooh, did I go a bit far there?" And then I watched Uti's video about it, and I was like, "Wow, he's off the scale." Like, these fucking corrupt bastards. I was thinking, this is great. I'm quite moderate by comparison.
I am just sick to death of the double standards that exist within the league. I mean, it is just, I'm like you said, I'm a Man United supporter, but still, I just want like a fair and level playing field. That is it.
Cool. And are you still going to sit on the side of the fence that it's incompetence?
No,
and corruption?
I'll repeat yet again. What
There
I
we go. Here comes the revisionism chat.
No, personally, I don't believe it's a case of brown envelopes. I believe it's a case of old boys network looking after all the referees and the association looking after each other, not wanting to get anybody into trouble. And that's where, if you want to use the word corruption, that's where the corruption is. The fact that they don't want to penalise their own buddies. And there's not many institutions that don't have an independent regulatory body, somebody outside of it who will deal with any sort of controversy. They deal with it themselves. And that, if you want to call that corruption, then yes, it's just the brown envelopes bit that I don't go with. I'm not saying it don't happen. I just don't. That's not where I'm coming from. It's the fact that VAR, for example, should be an independent body. It shouldn't be part of the referees association because they're not going to call out their own people. Yeah. And when they do take action, it's pathetic. It's like drop one game to the championship. What have the championship done to deserve an incompetent referee?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, promotion from the championship is the golden ticket. So it's a bloody important league. And yet they think it's okay to say, they literally say, that referee is shit. He's shocking. He's made terrible errors. Let him go and referee in the championship. What? So no. And then last season, they sacked one of the guys in VAR that fucked up out one of our games. He's back again now, back in VAR. It's like, what? They've got no accountability. They will not punish their own members. And that's why it's wrong that they are the ones to pass judgment. It's like the Premier League deciding what points we get deducted. But no, at least that goes to an independent panel. You know, you can't have the same people. It's like the police. They don't judge their own people. If there's a fuck up at the top of the cops, they don't. It goes to an independent panel again. It's just.
This is what I said.
It's just ridiculous. It's
almost one point that we missed.
Unbelievable.
Can I add one point that we missed? Because I think that they've been even more defensive and opaque than normal just because of the timing of it. Because they were just on the verge of announcing that those two were off to Europe, and it couldn't have come at a worse possible time for them to have refereed that match and done those mistakes, right? So they've been even more kind of circling the wagons than they would normally. And that's, I think, behind why this audio is only going to be released in a private meeting, which I think is, again, double standards. Because when Liverpool had a beef with them, you know, you can go and find it on YouTube now.
Yeah.
Can I just, sorry, I put this in our group the other day, our WhatsApp group the other day. For me, if they want to be truly transparent and honest with us, you know, we're in 2024 now. It's very easy to pass audio files along. What they should do after every game, whether there's controversy or not, is give a copy of the VAR decisions to both teams and to the media. Why can't we do that? If they've got nothing to hide, why can't we just say, right, here's a copy for you,
body cams now. The police have body cams now. The police have body cams, so that basically, if a suspect says, "Oh, the policeman hit me," the police can say, "Well, no, actually, look, I've got it all on body cam. Didn't do it." But at the same time,
the defense
lawyer can say, "Right, we demand to see the body cam footage of the arrest," right? And the police can't sort of say, "Well, no, actually, we'll only let you see it in private." You know, no. It has to be provided, right? Yeah. So there need to be
simple,
rules
though, isn't it?
Down
it's a simple solution to being accused of not being transparent. Very simple.
And I mean, Look at literally any other sport, rugby union, cricket, tennis. You're hearing what they're saying behind the scenes all the bloody time, yet they can't do it in football. And like you said, that whole Liverpool thing, that's what makes it extra farcical. In October, they said we want the audio released publicly. It came out within like 2 days, not even 48 hours. I was about to make a video that it still hasn't been released. They got it out. Whereas here, they're like, we want to do it in private. And the excuse they're making for it just doesn't add up. They're like, that was a communication error. So what was this then? Like,
I chose not to review it. To
be honest, Otti, even 48 hours is too long because in that 48 hours, they've got time to lose it, to doctor it, to leave bits out. No, it should be immediately after the match.
It's
not difficult, is it?
It's funny you mentioned that because if you listen to the Liverpool one closely, there's like 4 or 5 seconds of tape missing. No one knows what happened there.
Corruption.
I wonder.
Correct.
So
And speaking,
you get this in politics quite a lot, which is if you fail to mention something, is it a lie? Right? Now, if you fail to review the third penalty, so there's no audio because we didn't review it, right? You could say, oh, well, we just didn't review it. Well, then that looks like corruption to me. If you choose what you do and you don't review, then by omission, the things that you're not reviewing, that forms part. That's as bad as reviewing it and getting it wrong. Deciding not to review something that's blatantly obvious or is clearly a case for review, that is lying by omission. So they don't get off it on that basis.
And you're bound to ask the question, why are you not releasing the tape of the third incident?
That's why, and that's why.
Like all of them, just release them.
Allegedly, be careful. Allegedly.
Oh yeah, allegedly.
Oh, fuck that.
Let's bring our other brown friend in.
Let them dare take us to court, and then we'll have our say.
You can, not me. I'm distancing myself from that.
Okay, me and Itzy will take on the world, man. Screw him.
He's in here. He's all right. He's safe. He's outside the jurisdiction.
No, man. You know what's funny? Like today, I did a video on Manchester City, and a bunch of their supporters are having a pop at me. They're like, the club's gonna sue you. I'm like, bro. They don't give a shit about some YouTuber with like 6,500 subscribers. Like, fucking hell, man.
You're going to be arrested at Heathrow. They're
going to come to Delhi, pick me up from my house.
Hey, don't they know that he's also a world famous actor as well, right? So we want to know, Itzy, right? Have you been in any like big films? Me and Rob were talking about this earlier.
So basically how it works in India is that the entire entertainment industry, it is running on like nepotism and cronyism. So to get like a film as like a lead or like a second lead is pretty much impossible. They give you like these shitty offers or you can be like in the background. I'm like, no, fuck you. So right now I'm just doing ads because you actually have an opportunity to, be in a meaningful role. So if you can get those on your CV, eventually you might get a break. So that's what I'm just focusing on.
Ez, is that where you went wrong, Ez?
I got kicked out, mate. I was just going to say, reason why I'm late, guys, and I checked my contract and clearly says it's not even in small print, quite bold letters that I'm the only brown guy allowed on screen at a time. Because you don't count, Wolfie. You're not one of us.
Shut up, man. Just because I got some lights on me, man. Screw you.
No.
You're so racist, man.
No, so what I've been doing, I've been speaking to our money man, Crypto, who's not here. Checking and I've just got a pay rise, so I'm back on screen. But welcome, Uti. But you took over from me, man. It's not happening again. Make sure you want me. But yeah, great to see you guys, man. And carry on what you're talking about because I'm just jumping in on it. But what worried me more is that it is taking so long, and we're still a week later, and we're still nowhere closer to the truth. And it's just massive cover up, and it just smacks of there's something to cover up. If there's nothing to cover up, bring it out.
Exactly.
The funny thing is they've monetized this entire situation. They've got that show mic'd up now with Howard Webb and Michael Owen. They just discuss dog shit decisions. Like, I don't know what that's all about. And, dude, the worst is Dermot Gallagher. I cannot stand this man. He sees a clip on screen, and then he just denies it completely. Like, no, it's not a penalty. Brother, there's like 1 million people watching. Like, what are you saying?
It's a joke. It's an absolute
on
joke.
the last one, he said I think he said the first one wasn't a penalty. The other two guests said yes it was, and the presenter was also of that opinion.
Yeah,
they were all a bit unsure about the second one, but the third one,
crystal clear, man.
Even he couldn't deny that one. Even he couldn't deny that was a penalty, and he
exactly
wanted to. You know, but he just couldn't. It was just literally impossible.
And this is something, and that nicely segues onto the point Laurie's making, because Uti, you said it in your video. I've heard the same thing as well. She's saying Uti said there's no audio for the third decision. Did I hear this correctly? And where has he got that inside info from? Oh,
so the funny thing is, there's actually this Man United forum called redcafe.net. I don't know if you've heard of it. There was a Forest supporter who was commenting on one of the threads, and he mentioned this, and he put a link down. I believe it was in the Daily Telegraph, so it's from there.
Yeah, which is where we saw it as well. Go on.
And the bit that's like really doing my head in is today all these City supporters are having a pop at me like, where are you getting this info that these referees went to the UAE? It's in The Athletic. Like, just get subscribed and you'll see it.
Exactly. And listen, I've got to agree with Lefty as well. He says if Ez had more hair, Uti and he would look the same. Love you both though, guys. LOL.
Yeah, he's definitely got a better hairline than me.
And I gotta say, Lefty, I've just seen your donation towards my laptop. You are unbelievably generous. Boys, he's put £100 towards my piece of shit laptop. Lefty, that is way too much.
Legend, man. But you're all legends. Everybody who's chipped in, you're all legends. That's
Lefty,
amazing.
you have full disclosure now and full reign to take the piss out of Ez. You can call him Brown. You can call him.
Why you throw me into it? Why you throw me under the bus, mate?
Because obviously he wants to pick on you, and I'm just saying I'll back him up. Yeah, okay. And I agree with you, Lefty. Uti is way better looking than Ez by a country mile.
No arguing with that.
And I just got a shout out to Chris. He's put 25 quid in as well to ease the frustration from Forest and the broken PC, and Ray as well with the £10, and Warren as well. You guys are unbelievable. Thank you so much.
Some guy a couple of days ago, he didn't like one of my videos. He's just like, "Fuck you and your wig." I'm like, bro, what's this wig? I'm like, what?
That's the worst insult ever, man.
He used to get accused of having a wig until he changed colour, and then everybody accepts it now.
Oh, because I cut my hair. It's like a wig. Matthew, thank you so much for the 7 months, and Big Mark with the 10 months as well, saying when the lunatics run in the asylum, PGM MLL even is corrupt. Thank you so much, buddy. And guys, you all know who Uti is. If you don't, check his videos out. They are off the scale good. His link is pinned in the chat. All you got to do is click on that, and we are keeping an eye on how many of you have gone across and subscribed. We got already 360 in the house. Please make sure you've hit that like button as well. I want to move it on to, before we start talking about the Forest Man City game, again, Uti, is linked into the video you did yesterday, because the decisions in that Brighton game were absolutely horrific. Like, Foden just fell over on his way down and they decide that's a free kick. And then the penalty claim, it's embarrassing. It's getting absolutely embarrassing.
Yeah. When it comes to these free kicks, one thing that just does my head in is that if it's a penalty, they'll go review it and overturn the decision. Whereas with a free kick, they're like, yeah, just play on. I mean, you have the technology available. There's a guy sitting in Stockley Park seeing all the footage. You might as well reverse the decision. It was I don't even know. Was there even contact? He just fell over, man.
Nothing.
There's nothing. And look, don't get me wrong. Man City would have won that game anyways. They're a supremely good side, and Brighton were nowhere near it. But that wasn't a foul. And the penalty at the end, I mean, what can you even say, man?
Uti, did you have the same energy when Rashford fell over against Forest and they got?
Oh yes, here we go.
No way was that a penalty. No way.
Friendly, innit?
You know, the thing with Rashford is I am one of his biggest haters. So
yeah,
I can't stand him.
Converted, mate.
Well, there's logic. There's a logic behind this. You know, last year everyone's having a pop at Maguire. I didn't even do it once because it was never for a lack of trying. He's a true professional. He's always putting in effort. Okay, he's not playing well, but it's no fault of his own. Whereas Rashford walks around with a face like a slapped ass. Doesn't even run. He's just strolling.
It's shocking. He's a disgrace to that shirt. He's a disgrace to that shirt. Rashford is.
What do you make of? Did you see the stuff going on today about Rashford? Just very quickly, we'll go on a side tangent here because he tweeted at like 12:30 at night saying that he's what was it? He's getting abuse and it's gone far enough and what have you.
Yeah, he says about it for months and months. It's been longer than that, mate.
You had Harry Maguire. You had Harry Maguire literally get a bomb threat last year. He's just getting on with it. Vinicius Jr., he's getting racially abused every game in Spain. He's getting on with it. What's this guy on about? What sort of abuse? I mean, even we get abused as YouTubers. Like, you just have to fucking deal with it, man. It comes with the territory. Like, just focus on your football. Like,
and we don't get 300 grand a week.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Call me what you like for.
We don't even get 300 grand a year.
Exactly, man. I'll take it a year, man. Bloody hell. A lot of you are asking where's Crypto. He's not allowed on. He's not allowed on, but that's disgusting for me. Crypto 1999. He's obviously. I'll tell you really where Crypto is. Crypto's down in Chelsea. Yeah, he's applying for position of manager there from someone called Pochettino, who's apparently leaving soon. And Crypto thinks he can do a better job. Crypto, that's way too much, bro. Love you. Looking forward to having you back on Monday night. And don't forget, on Monday night, if all goes well, we've got Brucey, the legend, the sensation, the Forest through and through superstar. He will be on for the post-match Man City game, and I know he's got a lot to say about Forest. Huh? Yeah, and you're too old, mate. You're too old.
Yeah, you're too old, mate.
Don't worry about it, and you're too old.
Both
right? Yeah. Jan, thank you so much for the 27 Corona, as Ant would say. You're an absolute legend.
Corona.
And Fryer wants to know,
because there are other Kronas available. Swedish Kronas. There are other
Swedish
Kronas
available. And I guess Fryer wants to know from you, Ati, are Forest your second team? What's your connection? Obviously we know your connection, but maybe for those who are new to you, what's kind of endeared you to Forest over the last kind of few years, really?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things, actually. When the Damned United came out, I was like 13, 14 years old. It really got me into Brian Clough. I used to go on YouTube, listen to his interviews and everything. And because of that, I found out a lot about Forest. And then just in general, like when it comes to the English footballing pyramid, I've got a soft spot for all these teams which were historically very successful, whether it be like Sheffield Wednesday, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa. So I always had that soft spot. And when you were in the championship, every year I was hoping, I hope Forest get promoted. I hope Forest get promoted. In fact, the most I've watched of Forest was in that promotion campaign, more than even when you're in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And when that happened, obviously you guys signed like 40 fucking players in one window. I was making videos about transfers that were happening, and that's how it sort of picked up. And then I saw your fan base. I'm like, it's like people from Nottingham and myself, like we're on the same wavelength in terms of like the sort of humor we like, the sort of discussions we have. It's just the Midlands in general, even people from Birmingham, I just get along with them well. Fuck those southern twats, man. London, I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm good with everyone.
I mean, that's your whole Man U fan base down there in London, bro. You need to be careful. You need to be careful. All right, listen, let's bring Rob in because he is there fanboying right now. Honestly, like no lie, Rob is like full starstruck right now with Uti being on the screen. Roberto, let's get you to kick us off with the big game on Sunday, man. Like,
well,
what are you thinking?
Lineups, and of the lineups I've seen, I like the Crypto lineup. Actually, it's on Twitter. But quite honestly, I think it doesn't really matter what. It's not a question of formation, right? It's a question of mentality going into that game, right? That game, if we get anything out of it, it will be out of team togetherness, and it will be out of crowd support, and it'll be about raising your game. So it honestly doesn't matter to me whether it's Omar Bamidele or Niakate or Bolly in defence. Doesn't bother me whether it's Tavares at left back or whether it's Aina. It's more about, are they willing to fight to the death in this game? Are they willing to fight for each other? And I hope that they will, because they produced last year, the approach to that Man City game, and I think we have to give Cooper credit, his aim was just basically to keep them at bay until about 70 minutes and then have a go, you know? And if you can go into the last 70 minutes, either on a par or just 1-0 down, you can salvage something out of that game. And I think that was good. I think the only problem that we've had is that if you set up to low block for that length of time, you're relying on going the entire match without anyone making a mistake.
Yeah, I know, but Rob, you got to remember, we got lucky that game, man. Haaland missed some absolute sitters in that game before we.
By the way, is he playing? Because it's just not.
You make your own.
It's likely that he will be playing.
50-50. Yeah.
He's out of form as well, but Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, he was atrocious.
I don't think he's our main problem.
It's Foden.
I don't think.
I think
Foden.
Len's spot on.
Foden.
You know, if you stop Rodri, you've got a
Rodri
chance.
and Foden.
Yeah.
Foden is flying right now. Yeah.
The problem is that we've got this dilemma that we've talked about in the midfield, which is are they prepared to tackle? Right. So we've been overrun in midfield by Luton in the first 20 minutes, by Palace at various points in that game, and also last week by Everton. And we've got people who are scared to make a tackle. Why? Because we can't defend set pieces. So we have to find an answer to that by Sunday, because otherwise the players that you've just mentioned are going to overrun us in midfield. So should we not have a 25-minute discussion about whether Ryan Yates should play? I will trust the manager's judgment on that one. But let's put it this way. After watching the Everton game, we did kind of invent him, didn't we? And if only we had a player that was willing to put a tackle in and bleed red. Oh, wait a minute. Ryan Yates.
No, I would say Ryan Yates for Chelsea and put him on Palmer. That's when I would use Ryan Yates. That's what we need him to do. When it's a one-man team like Chelsea are, then you put Yates on Palmer and just disrupt that play.
He's not going to be able to affect Palmer. Trust me, he won't make any difference.
Trust you? Why the fuck should we trust you?
Palmer. After talking about, I said when we've played Chelsea at the start of the season, when we did actually beat him, that was his first game. I think he came on as a sub.
Yeah.
He came on and he changed the game for them. He actually made them look decent, and I just knew there was something about. He's had a cracking season, so I don't think Yates on him is going to make any difference whatsoever. Look how he skinned Brentford.
If he breaks his fucking leg.
The trouble is, if we spend all of our time, go on.
Oh, I think Dominguez has to play for definitely tomorrow. If you remember that second half after Rodri got sent off in the reverse fixture, we dominated. We dominated possession. We just couldn't get it.
No end product, though.
And a key component of that was the way Dominguez pressed. He led the press, and that was the most impressive game I've seen from him. And we got to get that out of him, because when he presses, the team's got to go with him. I remember, I think it was MG Dub that upset Rodri, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And got him kicked off. So, he's got to have that kind of game. He's got to be influential in that game. But we have got players that on their side who can turn it in the blink of an eye with a killer pass and so on. So we got to be concentrated. Defensively is where I'm more concerned. Who you pair with Murillo, and I've got to bring, for me, if Body's not fit, you bring Omobamidele back in, because I don't think Niakate had a good game at all.
You got an agenda, Niakate, bro.
I'd rather have Murillo playing the right side of that than Niakate, because he's not comfortable playing the right-sided.
What is your agenda with Niakate?
It's not an agenda. He just
because Mangala's left, so he's not got that agenda anymore. So now he's transferred.
I think he's just got a Muslim agenda, man. He hates Kiate. He now hates Niakate. He's gonna hate himself soon.
Chat, you tell me. Would you have preferred? Doesn't Omobamidele look more natural in that position than playing Niakate there? He was out of position for most of the game, and his passing just got us into trouble. So I would like that's the area that I want to concentrate on, because I think that spine has been disrupted, and there was no need for him to take Omobamidele out.
If Foden picks the ball up at the halfway line and goes on a 40-yard run, is Omobamidele going to tackle him this time? That's all I want to know. I just hope that he's learned from that experience. Right?
Yeah, but he wasn't the only one at fault for that. He was not the only one at fault. Yates' positioning made it hard for Omobamidele to do anything right in that situation either. So you can't just blame him for that. And he's one player that he's gonna get better and better anyway. And he's got the pace. Listen, we went back to a couple of times when Arsenal played against us. They didn't break through us. And who did we have in the centre back positionings? It was Omobamidele and Murillo. I think when they've come up against trickier attackers, they've done well. So that's what I'd do anyway. And I don't know if anybody else agrees with me, but not Niakate for me tomorrow.
And let me ask you the question I'm just putting in the poll to chat. Back four or back five? Or does it matter? Not matter, we're screwed either way.
You know what? This game, I just wish it was gone.
You said that last season before the match, Ant.
How the hell do you set up against this team? They are so good. They have so many threats from so many different areas. I just don't know how you set up against them. I really don't. It's not often I feel like this, but I don't care whether it's a back four or a back five. Long as we're compact and we fight and we try to go for every ball and we try to put them under some sort of pressure when they're on the ball. I mean, it is going to be low block, that whether we want it to be or not, because Man City force teams to play low block. We don't let them out. So all I can ask for is that the players that are playing just try to close down all the time and keep it compact. And we might get lucky. It will take some luck,
I mean, look, the top and bottom of it is that Man City at this time of the year, business end of the season, chances are they're probably going to just beat everyone who comes in front of them. But you've got a puncher's chance, especially at home, the crowd behind you. If you can get some pace in behind, they have struggled against that, both in Europe, even against Man United. We've been dog shit for the last 10 years, but you've got someone like Rashford who can just use his pace. You never know.
Well, I thought you hated Rashford.
I do, but in the big games, he does turn up. I can't lie.
And what was Man U's tactics been against him? Because I think there's been a lot of similarities between Forest and Man U on a parallel this season. Like,
under Ten Hag, nobody knows what's going on. We just sort of sit back and we're like, all right, let's just enjoy whatever the hell this is. If you've seen these last 5 or 6 games, both teams are scoring twice. It's like 2-2, 3-2, 4-3. But going back a few years when it was like Mourinho, Oli, and we were playing against City, it was always just sit deep, soak up all that pressure, and then just hit them on the break. And more often than not, it did actually work out well for us.
Would you then recommend having Elanga on, kind of having some pace up front?
100%. He's the one who bagged the winner at Stamford Bridge as well. That's exactly what you need. It's the only chance you have, because someone like a Chris Wood, I don't know, man, against City, okay, might win a header.
Scored against them last season.
True.
That's true. 1-1, I remember. But
have you seen Elanga play recently, Uti? This is the problem.
Sorry?
Have you seen Elanga play recently?
No, I have not.
He has unfortunately lost his mojo. We got to a mid-season point where we had a big discussion about would you take Brennan Johnson back or keep Elanga? And I think Elanga pretty much shaded that discussion, and I think a few people might reconsider now, especially the way Johnson's playing for Tottenham. So I think the one thing about Elanga is like he may be useless at converting his chances, but the threat of Elanga, even if he's off form, still makes teams play a different way. And I think that we've been leaving him out. And this is the this is the problem that we had against Everton. If you let somebody pen you back in your own half because you've not got that threat of the ball over the top, I mean, whether or not Elanga would make a complete pig's ear of it, just the fact that he's there just pushes them back a bit because they're just a little bit worried about him getting in behind because they know they can't catch him.
But Rob, did you notice that he was subbed on at half-time or near half-time against Everton? Because honestly, I didn't know.
Why did he wait to 56 minutes or something? I was thinking, just make the change at half-time.
But did you notice him do anything when he came on?
No, I didn't. No, it was about 15 minutes before he got a touch. So, but I don't know. Maybe it's different if you start with him. But I just think, unfortunately, I feel like Elanga without Tyro is like one hand clapping. It's like if you got the two of them together, that breakaway, right at the start of the season, that breakaway goal at Arsenal, that was textbook. That's what you want, or but just with Elanga on his own, I think it doesn't quite. I don't know, it doesn't quite work.
Well, what's your kind of verdict on Elanga, Itzy? Like looking at him from perspective on when he's at Man U to him at Forest now. Do you think there's a player in there?
You see, when he was at United, I always had a lot of respect for him because he just worked his ass off. Like he's always in the gym. He's super professional. He's got a really good attitude. I think a big issue at United these days is these kids, they get too much too soon and they've all got like gigantic egos. That's definitely not the case with him. And then when he went to Forest, I like that little chip he had on his shoulder when he played United. Like I wanted to show them how good I am. Yeah. I'm not too sure about his recent form, but he's still young. I feel like when you have the sort of mentality he has, he can turn out to be a really good player.
Yeah. And where are you on Elanga?
He's been in and out quite a bit as well, hasn't he? He's had an injury recently that's kept him out. By the way, 450 people watching. Uti says if we don't get to 200 likes before the end of the show, he's not coming on again. So you better get them likes up.
That is true. And also, Uti, how are we looking on your sub counts? Because chat, if you're not subscribed to the legend that is Uti, all you have to do is click on the title just beneath where Ez is sitting, the other brown guy.
He's gone up by 16.
Is that it? Chat.
Right now, one of my videos is popping as well, so I don't know like where it's coming from, but
Chat, don't embarrass us in front of YouTube Gold here, right? If you're not subscribed to Uti, and all like so much of his content is about Forest, it's about what's going on in the Premier League in terms of, and he talks so straight about it. It's refreshing. So all you have to do is right there in the title where it says Rebel City takes on the 115 featuring Uti. Just click on that bit and it'll take you to his YouTube channel and just press subscribe. It's completely free to do, just like Forest Till I Die has just done. The absolute legend Damien as well. We'll shout you out as you've done it. Fantastic. Honestly, you will enjoy, and you've got a whole catalog now, especially for those of you who've never seen Uti before. Just go back and watch all the videos he's done on Forest and all his other videos, to be honest.
I've just checked. I thought I'd play. I'm sure I am. I'm sure I am.
Cool. Uti, I've got a question for you before we move on. That's come from one of our legends here, Sai, and he says, "What do you make of Nuno so far in his time under Forest? What's been the kind of outsider assessment on him?" That kind say no more.
It's a tricky job for him. I mean, the fan base loves Steve Cooper. You're parting ways mid-season. He hasn't really had time on the training pitch to like instill his own tactics. Obviously, you had a bit of a new manager bounce when he first came in, won away at Newcastle and all of that. Right now, the feeling that I'm getting is that in terms of the control, when it comes to like possession and keeping the ball, it's probably slightly better than Steve Cooper, but results-wise, it's slightly inferior. So I don't know if it's been worthwhile, but it's difficult to be too judgmental of him, especially when you're getting so many refereeing decisions going against you, like one after the other. I'd hate to be in his spot, man.
Do you think that objectively that they're over milking it a little? Yes, all these decisions have gone against us, but do you think they should try and use it to rally themselves around and have that siege mentality, a bit like Everton did when they got their initial point deductions? Or can you understand where they're coming from right now?
It's a bit of both. I think the siege mentality will be there, hopefully, moving forward. I can see the atmosphere on Sunday just being electric, so hopefully it kicks off from there. But in general, like these decisions, especially someone else mentioned in the comments, Luton, all the teams they're playing right now, they're going to be on the beach. So a lot of the points that Forest missed out on, which is a good 4 or 5 at least, that could be crucial come the end of the season. I really hope not, but who knows?
Bro, you're not filling me with confidence, bro.
I mean, look, this game is a free hit. You've got a puncher's chance. I wouldn't back anyone against City right now. In my opinion, they're going to win all their remaining fixtures this season, including the cup final against United.
They will definitely win that one.
I don't know. I got a feeling Man U are gonna scumbag their way towards another
come on, look at the team. Just look at the teams. Look at the managers.
Yeah, but look how Man U got to the final. Look how Man U got to the final. I was gonna ask Ez something. I forgot now, Ez. So just say something. I forgot what my question was gonna be. It was a good question as well.
I'll make a change.
Okay, it's gone.
It's
Are
gone.
we going to talk about the lineups then? Are we going to do our,
all right, let's do that, right? Because I went, I don't know if you've seen the video today, as I wouldn't blame you if you hadn't, but I've just gone a little left field on what I think we should do, right? And I want to put my case to this because according to the chat, I've asked the question, 54% want a back 4, 18% want a back 5, 28 say it doesn't matter, we are screwed. They're basically antites in the chat there, right?
That's what I voted for.
Did you vote for it? Right. I'm just gonna bring up on screen what I would like to see, right? And then let's scrutinize this, and you lot can tell me I'm an idiot or whatever. Look, let me make my case, chat, right? And I know Sai's with me. I've seen Sai's message. I mean, Sai, not everyone is on our level. Let's remember that, Sai, in terms of understanding football and tactics and everything, right? Firstly, point number 1, exactly what Uti's been saying. Everyone expects Man City to win. And Man City are used to playing against low block and breaking down these teams in a 5-back, etc. So my thinking is block out the middle of the park. As Rob said, you got to give Steve Cooper credit where it's due. That's what he did last year to get the draw. We did an analysis on it. He just blocked out the middle of the park and gave him the wings. And then said, have the wings, but see, can you break us down the middle? Yes, we rode our luck. Haaland was just in that game. But I feel you got to do a similar pattern. So that's why I'm keeping Dominguez in. A bit like Ez says, he's a bit of a workhorse, can get around. He dictated the play at the Etihad. I'll leave Danilo in, and I brought Sangare back in. I think Sangare needs a 3 right now. Maybe build him some confidence. Let's not forget we paid 30 million for him. We can't just chuck him in the bin. So if everyone's expecting us to lose this game, why not? And then everyone talks about Morgan Gibbs-White and Reina. I know Rob's got an agenda with them both playing, but I'm thinking if you put them both as a 10.
How you use them? Yeah, I think if you're going to play Reina, you have to play him as a 10 and you have to drop Gibbs-White back. Otherwise, they get in each other's way. And I think
Rob, I'm saying put those hands together.
Sorry?
Rob, I'm saying put those hands together and have 2 10s.
That might work. What I don't like about this is if you're going to give them the wings, why have you got Tavares in there instead of a real defender? Because if he's basically the only reason you would have Tavares in the team is to get the best out of Hudson-Odoi, right? Now, if you're conceding them the wings, I would probably put Toffolo in because he is the best actual defender that we have at left back. He probably offers the least going forward, but I would say he's the most solid defensively.
Yeah, so let me give you my defense on Tavares, right? I never wanted Tavares at Forest. In fact, I got called all kinds of names. Yeah, when I said what a waste of a signing he was.
Didn't you, mate?
Dogs abuse, literally. Yeah, no pun intended. As well done there, right? My point here is when you're giving up the width, I think Einar and Tavares have the pace to get up and down the pitch. So if Forest do find themselves on a counter-attack, then you want someone like Tavares. Look, he's been terrible at shooting, but his shooting record, as I'm sure Ant will back me up, he does have goals in him, doesn't he, Ant? As a fullback.
Yeah, he scored goals for Marseille.
Exactly. So I think he's got more goals in him than the likes of Toffolo. Look, I like Toffolo, but look, Toffolo's done some nice
actually
stuff.
Scored this season. Not to defend him, but Toffolo has actually scored. The other ones haven't even hit the target most of the time.
Toffolo's also made some pretty important goal line clearances.
He's not quick enough. He's not quick enough.
I got to say, I don't agree with Rob on him being the better defender. I think Einar is a good defender.
Yeah, but you put him at the right. You've put him at right back because.
Okay, if I was going to critique, I like the shape, and I totally understand what Wolfie's saying about the way Cooper played last season and the way we blocked out of that middle. So the only changes, and I've already said the one I would change is Niakate for Bamadelli, but I would keep Einar at left back, and I don't see the reason to drop Will Williams. I'm not saying he's not droppable. Nobody's undroppable, but I wouldn't drop him. That's the switch. I like the middle three. I really like that middle three, and I agree with you. Sangare needs support around him. He's not got he's not the confident player that we wanted, who was going to lead that defense, that midfield that we expected, but we haven't got that so far. And he does need this confidence.
So what would you do, Ez? What are you doing? You doing a back 3?
No. I'm sticking with that shape. The only changes I'm making is Niakate for Bamadelli, Einar back at left back, and Williams at right back. Other than that, I'm with you, mate. I'm 100% with you on that one.
Would you go
on the break as well? We've got some pace on the break there. You know,
would you go Ribeiro up front?
Yeah, I like that. I really do like that because the way Chris Wood is going to play, he's going to be effective because he came on as a sub and scored that goal, didn't he? That equalizer, if you remember. And I think it was his first touch of the game in the equalizer last time. Yeah. And you can play him in a similar position, but you do need an outlet where if we do get the ball, we got to break fast. And you're not going to be able to do that with Chris Wood. Ribeiro gives you that speed, and I want to see him. Like you said, what we got to lose in this game. Everyone expects us to lose. As long as we don't get hammered,
this looks like a team for a pre-season friendly. I mean,
can I have a go?
Go on, have a
go on, then. Yeah, but I thought you didn't care, and you just want to get to Monday.
No, I didn't say I didn't care. I just said I've accepted that we're likely to lose. I've still paid me 52 fucking quid to go.
Go on, then. What you got first?
So the back foot, I don't give a monkey's wanger who plays, whether it's Bamadelli or Niakate. That's not the important position for me.
Okay.
Right? Let me rephrase that. Either one of those, I'd be comfortable with. I would stick with Einar and Williams as they are. I would stick with that midfield 3. I like the look of that. And there's where we're going to change.
Right.
Because I would have Hudson-Odoi playing.
4.
I would also have Chris Wood playing.
Yeah, I need names for replacements, and you can't just.
One of the reasons I'd have Chris Wood playing is he scored. Well, two of the reasons, I guess. He scored against them last year, so he's proven that he can score against Man City. That's a small point. Also, he's one of our better defenders. He defends really, really well. Okay,
Yeah,
and
you've got 14 players on here.
Yeah.
No.
I see where you're going with it, but this would be classed as corruption and cheating.
Playing. I wouldn't have Ribeiro playing. My only issue is I don't want Morgan Gibbs White on the right. That's
exactly
my issue.
Exactly. So what do you do?
So poor old Williams has got a lot of work to do on that right hand side. But it doesn't matter because we won't be attacking over and over again. It'll be very rare that we will attack. Okay?
Wait,
so
are you saying this is your formation?
In that situation, Williams can cover that right, go down that right hand side.
Wait, so you're playing a 4-3-1, skipping the right side completely, Hudson-Odoi and Wood.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
coopable. I'm trying to get a draw.
That's coopable right there.
I'm not thinking of winning. I'm thinking of trying to get a draw. And I think that front three is that middle three is very, very aggressive. I think MGW's got loads of creativity if we do get forward. I think Hudson-Odoi, I picked Hudson-Odoi rather than Elanga because although Elanga's faster, Hudson-Odoi is a better player in my opinion. He's more skillful, and that will.
But is he not predictable, Ant? Is he not predictable? He just keeps cutting on the
inside.
All
our players are predictable. The predictable is crap. So it doesn't matter. Okay. And I've said the reasons for Wood. And if we get a corner, it's handy to have a tall player in there like Wood. So yeah.
So if you're playing back, Ant, would you put Tavares at left back?
No.
To link up with Hudson-Odoi.
For me, Aina's fantastic going forward, and he's a fantastic defender.
But haven't some of our best performances been
Tavares going forward? I don't like Tavares defending.
I know, but don't you think that some of our best performances have been when Tavares and Hudson-Odoi have linked down?
Yeah, I do. But how many times has Aina played with Hudson-Odoi? He's been away for AFCON. He's been injured.
2-3 games now in a row, hasn't it?
Yeah. So give him a bit more time. They need to build a relationship. You're absolutely right. They need to build a relationship, but sometimes that takes more than 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, but this looks so unbalanced. It's giving me OCD, man.
It only looks unbalanced because you and lots of other people, and I've said this to you before, are obsessed with looking at fucking pictures on a board. That's not how footballers play. Footballers move about all the time.
I agree, and especially Dominguez. Okay?
Yeah, Dominguez can go on the right. They're dynamic. They don't just stay in those positions.
It can work.
So why wouldn't you just set up in a 4-3-3 and then say, I wouldn't play Morgan on the right? That would make more sense.
Morgan could go where he likes. Morgan's a free spirit. He could go to play left back if he wants.
I don't know.
Hang on, let me rephrase that. I don't mean he can play with. I mean he does cover lots of different positions. So if he wants to go, if footballers are supposed to be intelligent, supposed to understand the game. So if the ball's coming down the right, Morgan should have the brains to think, I can make an overlap over there. It doesn't have to stay in that little box where you've put him on the. Anyway, I've said my bit.
Can I make a suggestion?
Well, I want you to have your
because
go now.
I feel like we are falling into the trap of trying to contain Man City's.
Woo!
Am I still there? Right,
no, that's what I wanted.
We're falling into the obvious trap of trying to dream up ways to contain Man City's obvious strengths. The problem is that they've got so many strengths that you can contain 9 out of 10 of the strengths and the other one will score a hat-trick, right? You're at home. You should not be picking a team to try and contain their strengths because you'll put your containment team out there and you'll be 1-0 down after 7 minutes. And then what the hell do? You're not set up to attack, right? So I'm going to make a really rash, challenging team selection now. The best we have played in recent memory was in the first half against Fulham, right? Yeah. We should be aiming to go out and reproduce that, right? And the way that you reproduce that, remembering that it was only about 3 weeks ago, is to pick pretty much the same team, which means Hudson-Odoi on the left, Elanga on the right, Chris Wood up front. I don't know why you've ended his career just because he hit the post one time. You've now
because you know I'm right. Because you know I'm right.
You've chucked him in the bin harder than we did to Felipe, right?
Mate, he hit the post. It ended his career. That was it.
No. You told us off for ending Felipe's career. Chris was just signed a 1-year extension. What are you doing to him? Right? Look, all right,
you've got 12 players now, so you're gonna have to remove someone.
No, right? Okay. I'm talking 2-man midfield, and I hate to say it, but it's Danilo +1, and the +1 is a choice of Dominguez or Yates, right? So it's basically the Fulham lineup with potentially Dominguez instead of Yates.
Well, pick one.
Why Danilo was so poor in the last game?
He was shit.
Danilo was good in that game, right?
Okay.
What you want to do is you want to reproduce what you did against Fulham, right? Because that's the only chance that you've got. If you've got some actual goal-scoring threat, if you've got some attacking threat, that actually gives you defence a breather, right? If you set up a team to just defend, you're going to be 1-0 down after 7 minutes, and then what do you do? Oh, should we defend for the other 83? Suddenly we need to attack, but we aren't set up for it.
Yeah, but Rob, how are you comparing Fulham to Man City? I mean, even so saying it. Seriously, how are you getting this comparison?
Brian Clough never worried about the opposition, right? We are at home.
We had a fantastic fucking team then,
Rob. We're at home. We're fighting for survival, and we've got everyone except Taiwo fit, right? So we should pick. Right, look, we should. I'm just saying that the one time that Forest have actually impressed me in the last 10 or 15 games was that first half at home against Fulham, right? And we've shown over the last couple of years that at home we can beat anybody. We beat Liverpool, we beat Arsenal last season when we needed to, right? So that's how we should be setting up. And if we end up getting slaughtered, fair enough. But at least we set ourselves up in a way that maximised our chance of scoring. The team that you've picked, to me, looks like a latter-day Cooper team where he started tinkering, and it looks like a team for a pre-season friendly. So I would not start with Ribeiro against the best team in the world. I would put Chris Wood in.
Did you just call me fucking
defend your pre-season team, bro?
Wait, okay, all right, wait, hold on then. You got 12 players here for a start, right? Robert, right?
No, that is not 12 players. That is...
All right, that's 11, fine. Is that who you're going with? Are you going Dominguez over Yates?
Right, that exact team. Yes, Dominguez over Yates.
That team gets slaughtered.
No, it doesn't. That team could go.
That team gets so overrun in the midfield. That gets purely overrun in the midfield. There's no way that team does not get overrun in the midfield.
You've got two guys that you can release to on either wing, whereas your formation has got nobody to release to on either wing.
We'll never get the ball with those two in midfield on their own.
No, the problem is with Cooper-style low blocking, right, is you get... What used to happen is you'd be defending the edge of your box, you'd win the ball back, and straight away, you'd give it away again, and you'd start defending all over again, right? You have to
like every other match that Man City play.
You have to have an out. You have to have some... So you've got Elanga on one. Elanga's got the pace for the ball over the top, right? So Murillo can hit that diagonal ball to him, or Hudson-Odoi can actually take on a man and beat him. He can at least hold the ball up for a bit. And Wood can also hold the ball up.
Rob, look what Matt's saying. He's right. That midfield's the one that got slaughtered by Everton.
Away from home, where we are shit, right? Away doesn't count. This is at home.
You can't just say it doesn't count. It happened.
To be fair, we've been shit at home as well.
Why are you rubbishing? This is the last team that got us 3 points. Why are you rubbishing that in favour of having some Christmas trees with Tavares and an 18-year-old up front?
And because you got to change something. You can't just do the same shit over and over again, man. We're just going to fucking get punked.
If you take on board what Nuno's saying about the mentality of the players and how it's been affected by, bring in some new blood, give him a chance. What we got to lose?
Exactly.
But he's not
People
carrying the
keep
weight of
saying
the
what we've
record.
got to lose. I don't get that. We've got to lose our Premier League status. That's what we've got to lose.
All right, let's
mean
bring
this
Utsy in. I've got to bring Utsy in.
Yeah, let's
Utsy.
have Utsy.
Utsy, as an objective,
What's the
sane
reason?
person on this panel, yeah. Who's the idiots on? I mean, that's why me and you are at the top, right? I get it. But what would you do, man? What would you do?
So the original midfield three you had, I really like the look of that.
Let me bring it up,
Dominguez.
Utsy. Hold on. Let's go with your run here. Right, go on.
So I really like that original midfield three: Danilo,
Thank you.
Dominguez, and Sangare.
Thank
Right?
you. I knew you were smart. Yeah.
Now you see the
Well,
problem
everybody
with this
agrees with
lineup
that,
is
except Rob.
the issue I'm seeing with this lineup as an outsider looking in is Morgan Gibbs-White is your form attacking player, right? So you're sort of squeezing him into the 11, which makes it really tricky. Like in an ideal world, if I'm just looking at it from a point of view where playing Manchester City, I would get both Wood and Morgan Gibbs-White out, but obviously that's not realistic. So
Okay.
it's tough, man. It's really tough. I would probably have Morgan Gibbs-White out on the left, Elanga right, and
so you go orthodox 4-3-3.
Yeah, something like that. Even this looks a bit off. Like ideally, I would want someone with a bit more pace than Gibbs-White, but you can't drop the guy. So it's tricky, man. If Awani was fully match fit, I would probably have him in there, but apparently he's not, is he?
What you're falling into, Utsy, is Cooper's headache, because Cooper wanted to play 4-3-3 and he ended up shoving Morgan Gibbs-White out on the right hand side, didn't he? And I get it, because I agree with you. I would want to go 4-3-3, but Morgan Gibbs-White's the headache. You're right. He's the problem child in the formation.
I would want to drop him, but you can't. I mean, it would take a very brave man to drop him.
Yeah. Would anyone? You're right. Would you do it, Uti? If you were there, if you were Nuno, if you had some kahunas, would you contemplate dropping him and maybe putting Elanga there on the left-hand side just for the balance of the team?
You know, for someone like ourselves just sitting behind a computer screen, I probably would. But if you're actually in the managerial hot seat, like you don't want to upset Gibbs-White either. Like he's playing well, take him out of the side in one of the biggest games of the season. It's tricky. I don't know, man. Like right now, sitting here, I would, but if I was in his position, Nuno's shit. I'd have to play.
Would you? All right, this is an interesting one, Uti, from Stubbo, right? Because Morgan's been quite good in the 8. He's saying, would you do something like this? Potentially play Morgan in the middle, and then where's Hudson-Odoi? Do that.
No, not against City.
Too weak.
Yeah, you'll get overrun in midfield, like destroyed. I think.
Fuck. So
I mean, that lineup looks great. If you're playing Fulham at home, but
yeah. So basically, what you're saying is we're fucked.
It's a tough one, man. You've got a puncher's chance. You never know at home, but
not if you don't throw any punches.
It's exactly what Ant was saying. Like you can do whatever you want. You can have all sorts of formations and stuff, but this lot, man, I think even right now, a 1-0 defeat, it's not the worst thing in the world. Against this lot, they are just unbelievable.
It is for us.
You've got to bear in mind Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, etc., Grealish, Doku, Haaland. Yeah, these players, they are elite top football players, and we are shocking. So anybody that thinks they can come up with a
scare
plan,
you, Ant? Does that scare you? Does that make your dick shrivel a little?
No, you know what? I said to my brother the other day, I said, the way I'm going to try to approach this match, and people will hate me for this, is that I'm going to go and watch a world-class team play. Sadly, it's not us. I don't know that much hope. Listen,
that's treason, Ez. That's treason. Ez?
Yo,
Ez?
I mean,
is that not treason? Is that not treason?
Man, I can't believe you.
I know what he's saying. Like, I've been to a few games where I'm just sat there in the stands and I'm just like, oh my God, they're playing us off the park. But what are you going to do, you know? Like,
yeah, it's the only way I can sort of face it. I don't actually want to go. Because,
I'll take your ticket.
be fair, that was my
Got to
mentality
go.
going into the
I'm
game
a
last
Forest
season.
fan. I have to go. It's in my blood, you know.
When we pay 52 quid, you do have to go.
52
But that was
quid
my
for a
mentality
pleasure.
going into the game last season, thinking, look, at worst, I'm going to see a good team out there. But we got a result out of it. Maybe not having too much expectation going into this game for our own sanity is probably the best thing.
Yeah, I
Obviously,
think
the
that's it,
mentality
yeah.
for the players has to be better. They have to be solid. Don't forget, there's games this season where it's been down to again going down to decisions where we're not getting the opportunities in the right times. And I think the mentality thing that Nuno talked about in his press conference today, how it has affected them, is something you got to bear in mind, because we're in a generation now where we're getting to hear from on all these podcasts. We're hearing from players that we watched growing up, and we're seeing a little bit behind the scenes of what was going on and what the mentality was like. And what the overarching thing for me is that I'm getting from all these messages is that deep down, they're just human beings. You know, they're going to go through emotions. They're going to go through ups and downs, and it's going to affect them collectively and individually. So I take on board what Nuno is saying about how the decisions have affected the players this season. But his job, for me, is to get their mentality right and get them focused on the game. Forget about what's happened. He said it himself. He says, you got to put a stone down. Forget about what's happened. You got to move on, and that's what I'm hoping. I'm just hoping we get the right mentality tomorrow from on Sunday.
Absolutely agree.
Players.
It's
And
all about
we don't go into our show.
Oh, it's frozen. Good time. I can jump in.
Jump in, Rob. Jump in.
It's not about the formation, as I said. It's about the mentality. So you've got to go through those players one at a time. Are they a big game player? Are they committed? Do they bleed red, right? Gibbs White, is he a big game player? Yes. Is he committed? Hudson-Odoi, is he a big game player? Is he committed? That's how you've got to go through. Origi, no and no. He should not be anywhere near even the bench tomorrow, right? Sunday, okay? But what I'm saying is that's how you've got to pick your team. And the problem with it with the likes of Tavares, he's not actually our player, right? And also Sangare, you know, I like the idea of putting him in for the big game, but what's he actually shown to show that he's worth that place? Taking out somebody that is a big game player and is committed to gamble on him, right? So is Chris Wood a big game player? Yes. Is he committed? Yes. That is the basis. You need 11 of those, and then you need about 3 more on the bench, and then you work out, how do I make a formation out of that? You do not make your formation and your team selection based around containing Man City, because you can't. He's gone. He's frozen hard.
I see where Rob's coming from, but say you get spanked like 5-0 trying to... It's just the confidence...
No, but hang on. We did get spanked 5-0 at Fulham because we had a bunch of people on that I've just named, right, who started against Fulham. Sangare, Origi, Vlachodimos, those kind of players, right? So what I'm saying is if you pick 11 players with the right mentality, you don't get spanked 5-0. Maybe you lose 1-0 in the 99th minute, like we did against Liverpool. But that type of decision, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's about you can't have people freewheeling in that team that are off form or are not committed or are not big game players. So you should be looking for those qualities and then make a team out of them.
Are you arguing with Litty though? That's what surprising me.
Do you know something? I was just having a look at your fixtures. Sheffield United, Burnley, Chelsea. Those are all winnable in their own ways. Especially because Chelsea's at home. Do the double over them. Probably good. Now the thing is, someone's just mentioned that Luton are probably going to go down. Chances are they will. Somehow they play really well in most games that I've seen them, but they're just not able to pick up the points. I would actually be somewhat worried about Burnley. They're not a million miles away either, you know. 2 wins and they could stay up.
But their fixtures, Uti, they've got you. Well, yeah, I see where you're going with that. They got Spurs away, Newcastle at home, and Fulham at home, I think it is. Not Fulham, sorry. They got us at home last game of the season. Can you see it coming down to Forest versus Burnley? Because those 3 before are tough.
I think it's going to be massive because I've seen Burnley in a lot of games, man. I've seen them against good teams, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal. And even though they lost, like, they were not bad, like the football that they played. By the way, this is on a side note, but I am buzzing that Leeds are 3-0 down.
I was just
Firstly,
looking at it.
I don't want them coming up, and that helps Ipswich as well. I want Kieran McKenna to be in the Premier League.
I'm loving it. 3-0 down with 12 minutes to go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, everyone tune into Just Joe after because he'll be crying. He'll be crying. I hate
like
Leeds.
the AFTP sort of thing or what?
Yeah, I think that's something Man U fans and Forest fans have got in common. We both hate Leeds, so yeah, fuck them. Fuck them.
There's another way of looking at it. Like, as much as I hate them, you want them in the league just because playing them, you have that extra buzz, going into the fixture. Like, that's what football's all about, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Otti, you were saying you like teams with tradition and that. Well, Leeds have got that.
I just want Ipswich to come in, man. Like, that
Ipswich
would be a
got
heck of a story.
I'm gonna ask Ötzi this question in a second. Just before I do, just a quick reminder of the giveaway from Football Prizes for this beautiful. It's the 1979 shirt, I believe, signed and framed, that you can win from Football Prizes. It's pinned to the comments. So if you want to get your tickets, they're going quite quick. I was a bit surprised with O'Neill being the one, but I think the draw of that beautiful shirt. And have you still got your shirt from that one? It's Monk. Monk's got his one still going, hasn't he?
Yeah, I've still got mine. I'm just thinking, I'm sure that must be 1980 because I don't think O'Neill played in 79. Or was it the way around?
I think the shirt's the 79 one, and then O'Neill signed it.
Oh, that's a bit daft if you didn't play, isn't it?
Exactly. But
I mean, they could have got 1981.
Exactly. But either way, it's a beauty, isn't it? And it's framed front side as well, which is rare. It's an absolute beauty. It looks a bit like mine that you can see in my screen here, the one behind me here, in terms of the framing and everything.
The one he's wearing.
So yeah, not this bad boy right here. So if you want to grab that, the link's pinned in the chat. Go get those tickets. And there's also Insta-win prizes, a signed Trevor Francis photo, ripped to Trevor Francis, signed Clough, Nigel Clough, that is, photo, and a Bertels and Viv Anderson signed photo, and Robbo signed photo as well. So go grab your tickets if you want them. You've only got a couple of days on those before the draw, but they are going like hotcakes because that shirt is an absolute thing of beauty. The link, as I said, is pinned in the chat. Uti, can we talk about your boy Neville?
that question from Dan. Do I think he's barely half man these days? He was actually a good pundit when he first started off. Actually, like his first few years, incredibly nervous, but he got better over time. Ever since that Super League debacle, where he's the one who spoke out, he got a lot of attention. I think that got to his head. Now he's giving his opinion on anything and everything, and he treats it like it's fact. It's just like, mate, you're a football pundit. Like, take it easy, bro. Jeez. And
do you think what he said about Forest this weekend, about how we're a historic club, this is beneath us, what we should do, we shouldn't be calling things out, and he said, I think he said as well, didn't he, Mark Clattenburg should resign straight away to disassociate with that. What were your thoughts on all of that?
Well, firstly, shut the fuck up, Neville, because who are you to tell someone else to resign? What if someone told you to resign? Like, what? Where did that come from? I didn't even get it. And as for him saying all those things, Forest are a historic club, yada, 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 that's just him being the corporate stooge that he is. If you look at his tweets from like 2016, I can't remember what's the name of the referee, but he spoke out. He said the PGMO told him to say that he hadn't seen an incident when he had. Gary Neville was like, isn't this corruption? He's proper going at it. Whereas right now he's like, how dare you speak out? So that's just Sky Sports. They're running the Premier League. They don't want to diminish their product. And these guys are all in bed with the referees. If you see Sky Sports' channel over the year, they've been going into the VAR hub. They're like him and Carragher. They're just at it. And they're all like mates now. So yeah, the whole thing just stinks, man. I don't rate Neville at all. Someone like Roy Keane, he's a miserable git, but at least he's like interesting to listen to and he's honest in his opinion. These other guys, it's a mask. They're putting a mask on, in my opinion.
Yeah. And just a quick reminder, everyone, go and subscribe to Uti's channel. I mean, just to look at his sexy picture alone on there. I mean, seriously, that's Felipe-like. That's Felipe.
Take a back seat.
The Indian Felipe with that shit going on there, Uti. What is going on there, man? I'm getting warm just looking at it, right? Make sure you subscribe to him. He's on 6.76K now. I don't know the exact details. We can't see it from...
Yeah.
I can... Hello?
No,
Hold on. My computer all my screens just turned off and I'm
still see you.
back.
You're still there. You're still there.
I'm still there.
You were
Okay,
never
cool.
gone,
Right,
bro.
I can see again. But yeah, bro, you are looking sexy there. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think S is
Looks
quite
like it's in
turned on.
Baywatch, doesn't it?
Geez.
So all you gotta do is go on there. There's so many good videos, not just the Forest stuff. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you watch all the videos. For those of you who have not seen Uti before today, you've got a whole evening of binge watching you can do. Going back to like all those transfer videos. That's when I first started seeing Uti nearly 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Amazing content. They're better than our videos. I mean, I know the bar's not high, but it's amazing. And he actually does research on his stuff. So I'm back. Don't worry, Double O. I'm back. So yeah. Uti, how's that sub count looking? Are they doing as we're telling them?
I think so. It's 6, 7, 6, 8 right now.
All right, that needs to get to 6.8. They can do that.
Sorry.
What's that? 30 more? 30 more? Easily can do it. We've got over 500 of you in here right now. Please make sure you've hit the like button. And as Simon says, yeah, you are gonna. He's our style. There's a few choice words that do come out. They're absolute quality. Okay, let's have a quick look at the run-in. Rob, we touched on it there with Uti. 4 games to go. Ant's written this game off. And he seems more interested to watch Man City than Forest. But what are you saying, Rob? Are you worried? I'll put the link in the chat as well for the lazy ones amongst you. All you got to do though, it's in the title. Just click the blue bit in the title. But there's the link there. So go on, Rob. Are we staying up?
I'm worried. I've been worried since even before Nuno was appointed. So I haven't stopped being worried. I think we've all identified this is the worst season we can all remember. I mean, I don't know, that one with Warburton where we stayed up on the last day instead of going down to League One, I guess that was about the same as this, right? But even that didn't have the refereeing decision. So this feeling of constantly trying to push the snowball uphill. Now, I would say that I do believe that we can beat Sheffield United away. Now, I know that, everyone's, oh, yeah, of course we can beat Sheffield. It's going to be a hard game. It's going to be a hard game. But we have beaten them away in recent history, i.e. in the playoffs. In fact, in the playoffs, that game shouldn't have even been 2-1. It should have been 2-0.
We conceded yet another corner goal in that game, Rob, if you remember.
So we are capable of turning up and beating them. Where I'm really worried is we have not shown anything to convince me that we can beat Burnley. I really hope that we don't end up needing a win from that game because I feel like it's beyond us. I've been to 2 home games against Burnley this season, and we were just abject in both, and they look really dangerous. So I don't know. They're coming into form, and if they
goal 4-0. Sorry, 4-0. QPR.
If that Burnley
is just nuts.
Steve Cook, their player of the year. It wasn't him as Field, whoever the hell that is, just scored. Sorry, Rob. But
if that Burnley game ends up being a winner takes all, then I'm not confident that we're going to be the winner. So I don't know.
Bloody hell, Rob. Hang on. We've got ages to go before that. We've got 3 games before
I was asked about the running.
Talking about that.
Can I say something that? Let me say something that's not seems to be hasn't been mentioned, and I think is a major factor. These 3 games before that last game, every single one of them we play after Luton, so we know what result we have to get.
Yeah.
End of the day, we have to just worry about ourselves, but it does give us a major advantage. But where do you see Luton getting another 3 points by the end of the season?
Bro, at this stage, I would be worried about Burnley as well.
Yes,
they're not.
I'm more worried about them. I'm more worried about them because, Luton just got tonked at home by Brentford, but Burnley are looking like they can beat people.
Yeah, but they got Man U. Uti's boys, surely.
Next, haven't they?
One funny thing is, at Old Trafford, Burnley, they've got an incredible record this past decade. I think we've won like once or twice. They somehow always seem to beat us. I don't know how.
Great, thanks, bro. That's what we want to hear. Yeah. Why the fuck did we invite you on?
To be fair, I think this time around we'll probably scrape by them. It'll be like one of them 3-2s or something. But that other game, man, Burnley against Forest, that is going to be huge. And the crazy thing is, come the final day of the season, we still might not know who's going down because This whole points deduction thing, it's not going to be solved till a week after the season's
I'm
over.
taking it off. Fuck
No,
you.
that's
Yeah,
that,
you
that's
don't
not.
even know where you
not-
were in the
Fuck
first
you,
place.
man. Seriously, man can't
So,
even enjoy
We're
one
going to
evening
get the
without
points,
stressing, man.
points
Seriously.
back. We're going to get the points back if we get them at all next week.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know if they'll give it back now after this whole.
Well, no, it might work the other way. It might work the other way. I mean,
It might.
they're not far off from
It shouldn't
actual
make any
riots,
difference.
are they?
That's the referees, not the Premier League.
I feel like there's some sort of.
yeah,
Yeah,
I get what you're
a
saying.
few of those,
Yeah,
few of
the
those
Premier
going
League don't
down.
want anybody rocking the boat, do they? So
I
I
mean,
get what you're saying.
Go on.
As I say, as picking up on what you just said there, yeah.
Yeah.
How big is tomorrow's game? Who is it? Wolves versus Luton bigger than Forest versus Man City
Yeah,
in
as
the
it was
scheme
last
of
week.
things?
As it was
be.
last week, but we didn't take advantage. We knew what we needed to do. We didn't get anything out of that Everton game. Not for one to try, and I'll add that. Obviously, 3 penalties we should have had. So you can criticize the players for certain things, but there has been games, and I can think of 6 penalties at least, and you never know how it changes a game. It changes the mood of the fans. It changes the atmosphere. You can look at stats, but what that won't tell you is how it affects the game and at what stage of the game those decisions aren't being given. So for me, yeah, that advantage, we've got to bear that in mind. And we're looking at Burnley's next 3 fixtures. Man U away, home to Newcastle, away to Tottenham. What are you expecting them to get out of those 3 games?
I don't know, bro.
Yeah,
speak to your brown brother there, man. He's the one going on about him.
We didn't think that
fair,
Everton
you're
would
right.
beat Liverpool, so these games are not being played on paper.
What
right
I
now,
always
are they?
say, football is football. You can't rely. I mean, we could beat City on Sunday. It's not like impossible, you know.
That's what I said.
See, we expect it of other teams, but we don't expect it of ourselves. We don't.
I know, it's
and
just
the way
the
the
same
season's
thing.
going, and the way
No,
the
I'm
season's
worried.
going, I don't expect it of us. I don't expect us to make any surprise
True.
wins, but I do expect us to beat Sheffield United away. Definitely expect that, and I think that will be enough. I don't see the other teams getting enough points. Maybe
So let me
I'm
ask you.
being
So
overly
ask you that
optimistic.
question then, Ez, because he's banging on about Burnley. Yeah, where are you seeing these points, let's see? Because there's 3 behind us, technically 4 with the goal difference.
Yeah.
How are you seeing them making up that gap and clearing us? What's their path to survival?
More than the points table, I am going off the eye test. Now, Sheffield United, firstly, they have improved a lot since Chris Wilder's come back in. Even at Old Trafford, they played a pretty decent game. We did deserve to win, but they gave us a fight. At home, I don't know. They're super inconsistent anyways. They're relegated. They're done. It's not going to be an easy fixture regardless. As for Luton and Burnley, I feel like Luton have been playing really good football for the most part, but they've dipped recently big time. So I wouldn't be overly concerned with them. Whereas Burnley, they've been playing well throughout, weren't picking up points, but now they did get the win last time around. That might galvanize them, give them a bit of momentum. All these, like you said, on paper, it looks like 3 losses, but it's not played on paper, is it? Newcastle, they've been talked a few times away this season. Spurs, you never know how they're going to turn up. United, inconsistent as hell. Like, anything's possible. I still think Forest will stay up, but I wouldn't rule Burnley out at all. In fact, I'm way more confident about Luton finishing in the bottom 3 than I am Burnley. I think the win they got last time around.
Chat, I'm going to do a poll.
Definitely.
I'm going to do a poll. Who you think goes down out of those 3 teams? And do you agree? Because Uti and you seem to be on the same wavelength about football not being played on paper. A lot of people are writing Burnley off and with the fixtures they've got, including Vizza when we had him on last week. Are you seeing what Uti's seeing?
Mate, that guy's a legend. Yeah.
He's an absolute legend. Yeah. Are you seeing what Uti's seeing in Burnley, or are you not worried about them?
Yeah, of course I'm worried about it. I mean, I always say, don't I? Anything can happen in football. We've all seen some crazy results over the years that you would never have imagined could happen, but they happen. And if the only thing about Burnley is because of our goal difference, it means they've got to get 5 points more than us out of 4 games.
Yeah.
That's asking a lot. That's asking a lot for a team that's second from bottom of the table. To expect them to get 5 points more than us over 4 games is asking a lot. So that's why I think they may have left it just that little bit too late.
The last game is a 6-pointer between the 2 clubs, and that's where the worry.
They would have had to make up.
Why you assume that if Forest have to go to Burnley on the last day and it's like a winner take all? why would you assume that Burnley are going to feel no pressure, going to feel no nerves? They'll be shitting themselves just as much as we will.
We're away, and we're away.
We're away, and we haven't beaten them.
Hey, we beat Newcastle 3-1 away. We beat Newcastle 3-1 away.
Another big thing about Burnley is everyone just assumed they were going down. So in terms of that, the pressure is going to be slightly less, you know? They were like a foregone conclusion.
That's a good point. They suddenly crept up, didn't they, over the last 3 weeks?
I've just had a look through their last 5 games. Beat Sheffield United 4-1 away. They drew 2-2 at Stamford Bridge. They drew against Wolves and Brighton and had a better expected goals than both those sides. So they're playing well.
And they should have got something out of Everton, if not for the keeper.
Burnley, but sometimes a team, when they're that far away, just start playing with a freedom. And then as soon as the pressure starts coming back on them again, they start to struggle again.
True.
I've seen that happen before.
Possibly. That's like Arsenal,
So we'll have to see. I mean, it's all up in the air, isn't it? Let's be honest. None of us can predict it. The thing I take away from it is why the fucking hell are our club, our team in the position anyway?
Absolutely.
Even with the if the points were all given back, it's still been a shit season, and it shouldn't have been. We have enough quality players to
I think that was a huge disappointment for me because when you guys came up, made all those signings, I knew the first year would be rocky. Everyone's trying to bet in the whole dressing room environment. But here, I expected you to kick on, man. I thought you'd be like 11th, 12th around there.
Yeah,
I agree.
Me too.
Okay, in a word, I just looked at the time. We've gone way long here, and Uti, it's like 6 a.m. nearly coming up to you. Not that late, but yeah. As guys, it's what time is it there, Uti? What time is it?
2:24.
2:20. The man is up at 2:24 a.m. right? 2:24 a.m. to entertain you guys. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to his channel right now. The link is pinned into the title, and I've just chucked it in the chat for you guys as well. In a nutshell, 2 things from each of you. We'll start off with our esteemed guest. Who's going down, and what's the score on Sunday? Honored guest, you may.
I think the 3 that came up are going back down, and the score on Sunday, I'm going 3-1 City, man. I'm sorry.
You're gonna end like that, bro. You're gonna end like that, yeah.
I hate to say it, but man,
bro, you should have done it the other way around. You should have given your score prediction first, and then said Forest is staying up. Let's do it again. Let's see, I've got 2 questions for you. Who's going down, and what's the score on Sunday?
I did it in order, man. I'm sorry.
Rob.
No, don't worry. You guys are staying up. If not, we riot. We'll go to Stockley Park and just go ape shit.
Yeah.
Rob,
listen, we've got Mr. Marinakis. If he gets annoyed, God help the Premier League is what I'm saying.
And man, like Turkish and Greek football, they proper just lose their shit. Don't
Yeah,
they?
they
Like,
don't fuck around.
This is nothing to big Mr. M. This isn't.
They're like, they were angry because I tweeted? What the fuck? Go on, Rob, what you said, same 2 questions.
The 3 promoted teams are going back down. Still the most likely outcome. And please don't make me predict a defeat for Forest. But
I'm not making you do anything, Rob.
Let me put it this way. If I was looking at it from a distance, not personally involved, I just couldn't see Man City dropping points in such a game. So, objectively, they will win. But how? I don't know. One thing I can be sure of, there'll be some kind of injustice involving referees. And probably a goal from a corner.
Yeah.
Rob, you know what? Yeah. On that point, I reckon they'll give us a penalty when we're like 3-0 down. Just say, here you go, you fuckers. Yeah, there's your penalty.
Not
Yeah.
Not if Michael Oliver's in charge.
We got Hooper in charge.
Who is the ref?
He's a Notts County fan. He's a Notts County fan.
That's for the Luton game, though, isn't it? The Luton
sorry. Yeah. Sorry, that's the Luton game. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. We got. Is it Hooper, chat? I think we got Hooper. I don't know who he supports. I don't know who he supports. So what was your score? Sorry.
Don't ask me to say the score. No. 2-1 or 3-1. I think there will be a 1. I think we can score if we set up in the right way.
Okay. Ez.
Well, last week was the first time I've ever said we're going to lose a game, and unfortunately, I was right. But I'm going to be a bit more.
Why do you sound so proud of that, man? There's the one time you've predicted something that's right, and he's just not letting us hear the end of it.
This season's been a shit show all around, man. Give me something, man. Anyway, this week I'm going to be a little bit more positive. I'm going to give us a point. 1-1 draw on Sunday. And yeah, I agree with the rest of the guys so far. The 3 teams that came up, I think we'll go straight back down. I think we'll just avoid it. We'll stay above that dotted line.
Are you sitting next to me on Sunday?
Unless we put Nathan in the middle.
Are all 4 of you going to the game?
The 2 of us. So me and Antar.
Okay. Right.
Rob, Rob's
Rob, are you going?
No, I can't get in because of all these real fans that were on a list before I was born.
Rob,
No.
You need to check. We chat every now and again.
What?
Yeah,
Otherwise,
seriously. If I had spare tickets, you bellend.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, there were loads of spare tickets.
Kick him out, man. Kick him out.
Honestly,
give it to a real
message Sai,
FPV
Rob.
fan.
Message Sai. Right. And give me something positive, man.
I sort of kind of hope we stay up.
He's lost the words.
Yeah, I
You
believe,
sort of hope we stay up. What does that even mean, man? You don't think we're going to?
All right, and I'll be dead positive. I really hope we stay up. I believe that. Oh, no, I don't believe it. I don't know. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's so in the balance. I wouldn't have said this a month ago. I'd have said we're definitely staying up. All last season, I said we're definitely staying up. This has got me worried. I think there's every chance we're going to get a point or 2 back, and shamefully, that could make all the difference in us staying up. If we get a couple of points back, even 1, I think that pretty much seals it. As in, we'll be staying up. As regards the match on Saturday, Sunday, I shall stick with what I did in the Predictor League and say 3-1 Man City.
Judas. Would you say it's sorry?
No, I was saying, do you think you'll get the points back?
I think there's more chance to get points.
Every chance we'll get 1 or 2 back, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised, honestly.
I'd say there's more chance of Nick DeMarco getting points than Forest.
The noises are that there's a chance we will. So
I just hope we don't have that farcical situation where you guys are in the bottom 3 come the last day, and then a week later, like we don't know what's going on. That would just be a mistake.
That will bring the whole season to distribute for every club. You know, it's just out of order. That is.
Yeah. You know what? I don't care if that happens as long as we stay up. I really don't. I really don't. I'm not gonna lie. Right. Look, I'm gonna end on a couple of positives. Leeds have lost 4-0. The slight negative for those of you who don't like Leicester is Leicester are now officially promoted. Congratulations, Chappie. He's going to re-emerge from the ashes, man. Now, Chappie will be back on Beat the Drop if we survive.
We are.
If we are, yeah. And Ipswich now have 2 games in hand over the scummy Leeds, and they're only 1 point behind them. Just Joe, I can't wait to watch your post-match tonight, bro. I can't wait.
Promotions, that is insane.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's like something that used to happen in like the 70s, man. Jeez.
Is that bigger than what Cooper did? What would you guys think? If he gets promoted?
I would say no, because Cooper came in, we were truly rock bottom. They at least had momentum from last season that they could build on.
Yeah, they're parachute payments. It's entirely different.
No, talking about Ipswich.
We're talking about Ipswich.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about
They came up from Div 1 and then they may go straight up into the Premier League.
No. Cooper picked us up when we're in the relegation.
Exactly. I agree. Okay, my prediction is that Forest may survive and we're going to beat Man City 5-2. Suck on that. Listen,
he sent me a message the other day saying, put money on it. Forest are going to win 5-2. But no, I was like,
don't worry, and I can cheer you up. Forest are going to win 5-2. And he sent laughing emoji saying, you have cheered me up.
Don't put the computer money on this.
No.
For a big bet.
And speaking of that, Sharky, man, he's put another tenner into the computer fund. And he said, thank you, getting Uti on. Could listen to him all day. Yes, I've subbed to his channel months ago. You're an absolute legend, Sharky, and way too generous. And let us all thank Uti. What a legend. 2:30 in the morning, all the way out, other side of the world. He makes time for us lot, his fans. and his super fan Rob as well. Guys, make sure you are subscribed to the legend that is Uti. I hope you've enjoyed the show. We're back tomorrow with the watch along for Wolves versus Luton because I have no fucking life. We will see you then. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Thanks to Uti, thanks to the panel. Come on, you Reds.
You Reds.
You Reds.